Hello and welcome to the Platinum Podcast. Hey, and today's episode is sponsored by Platinum Business Consulting. Hey, here we go. Your business is in trouble. Part 2. This is Season 3, Episode 5. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a continuation from the last podcast as your business is in trouble. And we talked about alignment, we talked about process, or really an operating system. But today I'm going to hit you with a little different angle, and really it's because of an article that I saw over the weekend I think you're going to find interesting. So again, this is the Platinum Business Break podcast, Your Business is in Trouble, Part 2, Season 3, Episode 5, and here we go. So a quick reminder. The Gallup 2022 Workplace Survey, which was done in September or October of 2022, said this: 35% of U.S. employees are engaged. What that means is 65% of U.S. employees are disengaged. Now, what does disengaged mean? That means they're just doing enough to keep their job. They're not excited, they're not volunteering for committees, or they're just doing their job, staying under the radar. But then you have 15% of U.S. employees that are actively disengaged. Those are the people who you know are not happy at their job. And typically what they're doing is spreading discontent. They're not performing to their level, not doing their job. In fact, they may even be sabotaging your business and you don't even know it. And what could that look like? Well, maybe they're letting an order go out the door that's wrong, not returning phone calls. You get the picture. So again, employees are not happy. And again, a lot of it is fault of the leadership or the ownership of the company, right? We got to put it where it's at. The article that I saw this weekend, this is from the Wall Street Journal by Tara Weiss. It's called "The Companies That Give Everyone a Day Off When Life Gets Stressful." And I'll quote here: "Mental health is the workplace crisis of our time," said Lene Luick, NerdWallet's chief people officer. "We don't feel that taking care of mental health is something that should just be lumped in with PTO or sick days." Now, I agree. I think since COVID, most of us, we've determined, hey, we've got to start caring about our own mental health, our physical health, our self-care. And that's driving a lot of decisions in the marketplace where people want to work or where they don't want to work, right? Here's another quote: "Employees are looking for jobs that support their mental health needs at record levels," said Jennifer Moss, a consultant who works with Fortune 500 companies and others to help them define their workplace culture and author of a book, Burnout. "Employers say the decision to offer these programs comes at a cost, such as hiring outside consultants or building new facilities. There's also the possible resentment that may build among those who don't take the additional days off, since it could add to their workload." Now, that's what I wanted to park on for today's episode. See, and again, I agree with all this. I agree, self-care, mental health, it is paramount for a healthy workforce, for productive employees, for a great company, for a great culture. And your customers know that too, by the way. Don't think they don't, but they do. So this is saying that there might be resentment for those who don't take the extra time because they're worried that it's going to add to their workload. That's the problem, folks. Right there is workload. Or, maybe we could say it's, bandwidth. People are so busy right now. People have left. Therefore, Johnny has to take up someone else's job in addition to his own. That happens every day, and it's happening every day. So again, why is that? Why are people feeling, oh my gosh, I'm reaching my limit? And again, I used this picture in the last video. It's a spin the bat or put your forehead on a bat dizzy game. And most of you have probably played that. So you put your head on that bat and you spin around and you spin around, and then you're supposed to run straight and you can't. You think you're running straight and you're actually curving around. You're all discombobulated. You're all messed up. And you don't know why. It's because you're just on this merry-go-round. And that's the way most of your employees feel, is they're just every day, they're just doing the dizzy bat game, right? And part of it is most people have limited bandwidth. We're piling so much work on existing employees. So when someone leaves, someone's got to pick up that slack. That's why our team members are just so tired. They're so burned out. That's why they're disengaged. In leadership, and again, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to business owners, leadership, senior leadership, managing groups. I mean, whoever is in charge of the well-being of the company. Again, whether you're a management group, senior leadership team, owners, board of directors, whatever. Okay, you got to understand that your people are just burned out. They're tired because they're trying to do so many things. So I still say it goes back to leadership and vision. Now, why do I say that? Well, leadership is influence, and vision is at the big picture that carries everyone through the tough times. So if you show me a company where all the employees are discombobulated, they're stressed, their bandwidth is limited, there's chronic problems, chronic issues, the customers are always complaining, I will show you a company where there's no leadership and there's no vision. And you can take that to the bank, I promise you. Now, if you are a company, especially if you're a business owner or leadership group or leadership team, and you go, wow, we're having a lot of problems, you got to talk about it. And that is part of your responsibility. So I applaud you if you're one of the few that are going, yep, it's us. We have to step up. We have to fix this. Because if we keep expecting the people to lower ranks to fix all the problems, it's not going to happen. And they're going to leave. And these problems are going to perpetuate. Again, go back to the previous podcast or vidcast and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's look at some leadership statistics. 79% of employees will quit due to lack of appreciation. And one of my favorite quotes is, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, right? Those of you who know me, you've heard that a lot. While 83% of organizations believe it's important to develop a leader at every level of the company, only 5% have implemented leadership development at all levels. Wow, that's sad. Only 48% of employees view their company's leadership as high quality. U.S. businesses spend $166 billion on leadership development each year, nearly half of the $366 billion that's spent globally. So U.S. businesses spend a lot of money on leadership. But to the second statistic, only 5% are really, it's only getting down to the lower levels. Again, that's from Zippia.com is the source for that information. So really what it is, in my opinion, is leadership is disengaged. Leadership, again, if it's a publicly traded corporation, they're probably worried about, they're looking at stock price, they're looking at profit. As long as, stocks are great and profit's fine, everything must be okay. But that's a short-term look at. If you're a privately held business, if you're disengaged, leadership is actually even worse because your employees know you're disengaged and you're on automatic pilot thinking things are going to solve themselves. A lot of times you've hired people and you're just saying, oh, it's up to them to fix it. No, if you are the owner or the leader of the company, it still comes back to you, okay, every time. So with that, what does that tell us? Our teams are disengaged. Our teams have no clear vision or purpose. Everyone is so busy they can't take or want to take ownership on anything. And priorities change on a constant basis. It's crisis management. It's reactive. Does that sound like your business? If it is, we can help. Platinum Business Consulting can help with all this. Leadership training, employee engagement, learning and development. All right? Simple formula. Again, those of you who know me, I wear this one out. Number one, execute the basics flawlessly. That's from answering the phone to taking the order to packaging your product or service, shipping it or delivering it if it's digital, making sure the customer knows how to use it, the customer's happy with it, and getting feedback. Then once you get all the basics, then start handling some of the complex things. But then the complex things, you'll notice you could break down into simpler tasks. So execute the basics flawlessly. The second is make it easy for customers to do business with you. And that is, to me, the lowest hanging fruit. Most companies put up so many barriers. And part of it is the people on the front line are not trained on how to bring a new customer into the fold or how to deal with an existing customer. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does, because that is really where I see a lot of opportunity. So again, this is not a very long podcast. This was just really more of a commentary on that article, but I think it's very important for leadership and vision to be a just major part of any company. Again, leadership That's the influence. That's who we're looking to for the vision. And what is the vision? The vision pulls us through the tough times. So again, show me a company where there's complete chaos, there's disengagement, the employees aren't happy, customers aren't happy. I will show you a company where there's no leadership or vision. You can take that to the bank. Anyway, if you're interested, contact us for the next step. Can't help you if we don't hear from you. info@platinumbusinessconsulting.com. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Platinum Podcast, the Platinum Business Break. Your Business is in Trouble, Part 2, Season 3, Episode 5. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.